Fortunately, not all our leaders fell for this. Georges Etienne Cartier, a future father of Confederation, mounted a counter-petition, and the leaders in the Assembly of the United Province of Canada, Robert Baldwin and Louis Lafontaine, ordered all those who had signed the Annexation Manifesto to be tossed out of government positions. No one could take the coin of the realm if they were working for its demise. Now the ship of continentalism tacked in another direction: trade. The first free trade or reciprocity agreement between Canada and the United States was signed in 1854. One of the first government lobbyists, an American named Israel Andrews, came stacked with $100,000 money roll to grease some prominent palms on both sides of the border and get the deal passed. 6 years later, the American consul in Montreal reported that the treaty was effectually transforming these 5 provinces into states of the Union, commercially speaking. Raw materials were shipped south, and manufactured goods came north, duty-free, until the Americans canceled the treaty in 1866. By then, other forces were moving events along. Between 1861 and 1865, the Americans fought a civil war. The industrialized northern states finally won, defeating the Southern Confederacy. But Canada felt the effects too. First of all, we prospered since countries at war are hungry beasts, and our goods were welcome. But as the hostilities south of the border ended, Canadians began to fear that some of these seasoned troops would head north. Johnny Macdonald and the other fathers of Confederation were working furiously to forge a united dominion of Canada out of the British North American provinces and stave off that perpetual threat from the south. The Americans were proposing that Britain just hand over their North American provinces. That would be payback, they said, for siding with the Confederates during the Civil War. And in case those Canadians needed a little encouragement, the Irish Fenian Brotherhood was given a wink and a nod to carry their grudge with England across the border in a number of armed raids against Canada. Fortunately, Johnny Macdonald had discovered the art of undercover information gathering and put one Gilbert McMicken in charge of routing out plots and conspiracies. Through a network of agents, inside sources, and ladies of the night coaxing secrets out of the would-be plotters, many planned invasions were successfully foiled. But the pressure was on, and the United Canada was created none too soon in 1867. Not that this would stop the ambitions of the annexationists. The Americans were turning their sights westward, and so were the Canadians. American newspapers and people like Saskatchewan Taylor were actively promoting American annexation of the Red River Valley and the rest of the Northwest. When Louis Riel stood his ground for the Métis in the face of surveyors from Canada West, the Americans spotted an opportunity. They encouraged Riel's rebellion and promised money and military support if he would endorse annexation. Instead, he took down the American flag that had been raised over a local hotel and put up the Union Jack. His purpose was to protect Métis' rights, and he kept to it. The list of proposals he sent to Ottawa became the basis for the creation of the new province of Manitoba. Further west, American prospectors had occupied the Fraser River area during the first gold rush of 1858. And annexation was again on the radar. Britain reacted by creating a new crown colony on the mainland, which later joined the original colony of Vancouver Island. Leaders like Amor de Cosmos and James Douglas resisted the call of the Republic and pursued responsible government, soon joining the rest of Canada with the promises from Georges Etienne Cartier to build a railway linking them to the east. An independent country was taking shape out of the molten material of colony and wilderness. By 1878, Sir Johnny Macdonald won an election on a nation-building platform that included tariffs to protect Canadian manufacturing, the construction of a transcontinental railway, and settlement of the West. This was known as Macdonald's national policy, and its aversion to continentalism influenced Conservative Party thinking until 1988. The lobbyists never rested. Money and influence were used to peddle a number of ideas under different names: free trade, commercial union, annexation, and harmonization. But each time, when brought to an election, the Canadian people turned it down. And this is why we have a country.